Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well. Now, for you who's listening at home, remember that you are my most important guest. So, throughout the show, I want you to call in. I want you to tell me what you think. What do you think about these regional security outfits? What do you think about the idea that they have to align with the federal government's community policing program? What do you believe are the root causes of the high insecurity? Now, Mr. Amakri, you came on Nigeria Info previously to discuss Amotekun, and now the federal government and the six state governments have said that Amotekun will be aligned with the federal community policing scheme. What do you think about this development?
That's what it is supposed to be anyway, right from the beginning. But I'm very happy that, like we discussed the very first time they floated this idea, that they should try and get a legal backing for it. It was very hasty when they come out, and there was no legal backing. And then, of course, they said that it's going to be a regional body. But now they've gone back to their state house of assembly, and then the state houses are now treating the bill to bring out, a legal framework behind each of them. So that's a good movement.
All right. We've been hearing a lot about this community policing program, but could you enlighten my listener about exactly what it entails?
Well, you see, when you go into community policing, I think what these Amotekun, neighborhood watches, vigilante groups are supposed to do is to work as first aid. They are supposed to be the first people that might have got information about any kind of crime or the one that is going on or one that is about to go on, and then inform the regular police. So that synergy between the local people, not just an organized body, but every local person. And for what they are trying to put together right now, I'm happy that using hunters and local people and stuff like that. So these people will be giving information to the regular police to preempt a crime that is about to happen, or to stop it when it is already started to happen. So it is community policing involves everybody, you and I, to be part of the policing system, not just a uniform group, And I think the designers of Amotekun or whichever group now that is popping up in the country realize, so that they could all work in signage.
So Amotekun is meant to be part of the federal community policing program. And we've heard the Inspector General of Police and the Vice President say that community police constables will not have the right to bear arms. But now the Southwest governors are writing to the IG for gun licenses. Wouldn't this violate the community policing principle, Mr. Makri?
Well, the thing is that community policing is where the communities are going to be involved, and then they are supposed to be just informants. Now, when you're applying for a gun license, that means you want to arm them, and then they have to fight. Now, when you're arming them, you're not going to ask for Dane guns. I hope they understand that. They're going to have a more sophisticated weapon, because these bandits are carrying AK-47. They are carrying all kinds of sophisticated weapons. And these weapons cannot stand, are going to overshadow the green guns that hunters are going to carry. So yes, they are going to apply, but at the same time, it is at the discretion of the Inspector General of Police to issue those licenses, because there are conditions whereby when you are issued a license, you have to go through certain things, certain kind of vetting, certain kind of training before you can actually bear arms.
Now, the Ekiti State Attorney General told the press what the full scope of Amotekun will be. He said the agency's officers will be responsible for routine day and night patrols on major roads, remote areas, hinterland, forests, and inland waterways. He also said that they will be disarming unauthorized persons in possession of arms and other dangerous weapons. Their role will include identifying offenders, arresting offenders, registering offenders, and number 5, handing offenders over to the nearest police station or post. Now, can a security outfit be expected to enforce the laws and stop banditry and kidnapping and armed robbery without bearing arms?
You can actually stop banditry or preempt banditry by reporting to the police that will go out with their smart team to go and do what to do. I see Amotekun people with Dane guns trying to disarm somebody with an AK-47. That is tried. You don't try those kind of stuff. So during the patrols, if they see a group of people that they suspect, going to one they have it among those people. That's another aspect that I really, really want to point out.
Okay.
Most of the 50% or more of the operatives of Amotekun or any of these neighborhood watches are going to be undercover. People who are not wearing uniforms, people who are mixing up with the crowd, who are mixing up with the locality, but they know their role by, sneaking out information to their appropriate quarters.
Okay.
So when you have people who are armed and you think they are planning certain things, gent or the spy among can sneak out and give information, and then the response team can, swoop on that area and get them. And that's why there is need for serious training. Because you don't just wear uniform on people or just tell them, okay, you'll be patrolling, we'll have vehicles for you, or there are boats to go through the creeks and everything, and expect them to do what you think they are going to do.
Now, in all of this, though, we're circling a bigger issue, Mr. Makri. Essentially, the federal government has exclusive powers when it comes to security and law enforcement. This is not the case everywhere in the world. In a lot of countries, security and law enforcement is decentralized in their constitutions. So I have to ask, why is the power of security centralized in the federal government by the Nigerian constitution?
It's actually before the Nigerian constitution. This actually has been all the way back in colonial days. When the first police force was formed in Nigeria, in Lagos here, the Hausa Constabulary. Their name was the Hausa Constabulary. I think there were about 18 or 30 of them, all people. And these people were trained to protect the colonial masters who were living at Ikoyi.
Okay.
And they lived there. In the evening, when people who are working in that area go out, because there was a gate somewhere around the police mess at the Museum Center, there is a gate to Ikoyi. And then when they close the gate, and these constabulary people will be patrolling the area and making sure that nobody comes to harm the colonial masters.
Okay.
So the initial objective or the aim of the commission of police was not as a service to the people. It was to protect the colonials. And when colonials left, they didn't change the whole attitude or orientation into service to the nation. They now have a new set of masters who are the politicians. Because you can imagine right now, look at our society right now. There are a lot of, we are not up to about police force, about 300 and something thousand in the whole Nigeria. And go to a country like Egypt, which is only 98 million. They have 1 million police people, 1 million, and there are 98 million. Now, we are up to about 200 million, and then we have only 300 and something thousand. Out of that 300 and something, there are mopoles, I don't know, 100 and something, who are attached to all kinds of people who can pay for them, a politician, local government chairman, all kinds of people, following all kinds of people around. So you find out that the whole idea of policing is not service to the people. It is just a protection of some important people against the normal Nigerian citizen whom they either see as wild or primitive or who is ready to attack them or something like that. That's why we see we need a strong reorientation where people, the police will feel that they are in service of the people. If the police is going to be my friend, then he should also know that we are looking for his salaries, we are for his uniform, and he's supposed to be our friend indeed.
Some people have also said that the answer may be traced to military rule as well, that the central government needed full control over security agencies to ensure the country could not rebel. What do you think about that?
No, that's not really the issue, because if anybody that have the police under them want to, use it as the teeth of government to bite if they need be. It is the power of government, okay? So people tend to now have the under them. I remember very well when APC government was not in power, especially in Lagos here. I remember I used to go on TV with even the chief security officer, the chief security advisor to the governor then, and then we used to advocate for state police. Because we believe that, you bring policing to the state and then, of course, to the grassroots. But at that time, the government in power refused. They refused to pass it. Then when this government got into power, all of us were very happy that, finally, we're going to get it. But as soon as they shut down, they also said, no, we're not going to allow state police for now. But I'm happy for one thing. At least the situation and the circumstances are forcing, that to do the right thing. Because it is not a matter of forming a police unit that will be used against your opponents. They are formed to enforce the law. And I think we have to put that inside our brains, because many people believe that police is used. They use and abuse the police, Two people are playing for land, they will go and call police. Two people are quarreling, they go and call police, bribe them, and they come and arrest the other one. That is not what it is. The police is supposed to enforce the law, under strict rules of engagement.
Now, does that mean that you agree with those who say, for instance, that the continued centralization of security under the federal government is not sustainable? These people say that the growing security all over the country is a sign that federal government cannot handle security on its own. The growing insecurity all over the country is a sign that the federal government cannot handle security on its own. Do you agree with these people?
Well, you know that when the police people started earlier in Nigeria, we were about 40 to 55 million people. And right now we're 200 million. And then you have from the 30 to 30 or so for the Russia constabulary, we are now 300 and something thousand. So it is not adequate. Even the police, they are very much aware that they cannot handle everything. They are very, very much aware of that. So the best thing to do is to balkanize it. Bring down police to the neighborhood. Everybody is a police person, actually, because it depends on the individuals to now see anything, say anything, report criminals, so that society will be safe And then the normal police will be busy only in prosecuting the criminals. And then will be busy spotting the criminals. And the more we get like community policing, citizens in the society or whatever, it's good for society. There's even another bunch of people that even government is forgetting. The private security people. All these private security guards wearing uniform, they're all over the place. All these people can be co-opted to what we call the community policing because they can work inside with the formal police.
Let's talk to you who's listening in your car or in the office or at home. What are your thoughts on some of the subjects that we have touched on in the past 19 minutes? 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. What do you think about these regional security outfits? What do you think about the idea that they have to align with the federal government's community policing program? What do you believe, you yourself, what do you believe are the root causes of the high insecurity? We have on the show with us a security expert who's a former director in the State Security Service. And he's on the show today helping us answer a few questions that will continue in a bit. But I want to talk to you for a few minutes. Hello.
Sandra, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very well, my dear. Maxwell from Ezekwesili.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Macri. You've said a lot. And
Thank you.
Those who do not know exactly what you are saying might differ from their own opinion. The number of police in this country is very, 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 very small. Not measured up to the world standard. And they are overstressed. And one thing I want Nigerians to look at, forget about any name that is being given to the local security agencies now. Those of us, if we can tell ourselves the truth, that have come from the south. In my village, you have young men who are not doing anything that we are using as a local vigilante. A couple of years ago, in those states, I had a problem. I loaded a truck from from Lagos here that was heading to the east. Somewhere around J5, it's a popular place, on those states. The armed robbers went and hijacked the truck. It was the local vigilante that recovered that truck. They recovered the truck and called the police, and those people ran away. You understand? If not for those people with their timely intervention, that truck would have gone to Benin Republic. You understand the point?
Okay.
So this is very key that we recognize these people, but what matters there is let us tell ourselves the truth. Let us not politicize this issue. The regions, the name that is being given to the regional security, whatever, is inconsequential to me. The most important thing is what are we going to achieve out of this? And I crave the indulgence of those who are organizing this to make sure that there is a synergy between the existing police system and these other people. Let them act like informants. If the government, and those, for God's sake, the issue of requesting for firearms should be done carefully.
Okay.
Those, we have a lot of graduates who are who just came out, they don't have job and all that.
Okay.
Let us bring them into the system. Let them go, because the more enlightened ones who are not doing anything could be of good help to the system. You understand?
Okay.
So that we don't employ people who just come from the blues and they begin to do all kind of stuff because somebody can just manipulate them and they begin to do all kinds of funny stuff.
Okay.
Please, we have to be very careful. It is an encouraging step to take. Like in the Northeast, those ones in the Northeast, those local vigilantes, they are not having any conflict with those people over there in Medjugorje.
Okay.
Check the record. They are not having any conflict. But when people want to say all kind of things to discourage, look, there is no homeboy who does not know each other. That's the simple thing.
Okay. All
Do you
right.
understand what I'm saying?
All right, Maxwell. Thanks for calling to say it. I'm asking you on the show today what you think about the idea that these these regional security outfits have to align with the federal government's community policing program? What do you believe are the root causes of the high insecurity? Olaide Cruz on Twitter says that he's not very comfortable with this Amotekun carrying arms, though criminals use guns. But my fear is if this idea of using gun will not trigger more abuse of human rights, now that the police have become hunters on citizens, are we not going to cause more problems? What consequences will this have on the citizens? Mr. Macri, what do you say to that?
Well, the thing is that when an ordinary citizen decides to join the police, for instance, he will be trained. And when he's trained, he's issued a gun. And he's supposed to use the gun when in a very serious situation. I can tell you one thing. It is only the trained person who holds the gun knows the value of a gun and will not use it.
Okay.
Even those policemen that you see either go get drunk and start firing or accidentally discharging it into people are people who don't know how to use gun.
Okay.
Because if you know how to use gun or the different types of guns that we have, you will probably use them. You know, that is you. In fact, right now, there are non-legal weapons. Non-legal weapons, these are other kinds of weapons that you can use in disarming, you know, somebody who is holding an AK-47, for instance. So all the premium they are putting on holding a gun or using a gun doesn't really follow. I feel that, but if somebody is well trained, of course, the person can handle a gun. If you are giving guns to Amotekun people, fine. But train them first so that they know how to use that weapon.
Yeah, but you've also said that we have police officers who go off and drink, and we have police officers and these are police officers who we assume have gotten training. These same police officers are the ones that we are talking about all the time and saying they need to be retrained. They need to be retrained.
That's what it is. They need to be retrained.
Should we have faith that these people who, for whom Southwest governors are applying for rights to be armed, will get the training that they require? Should we take that faith, Mr. Macri?
Yes, they need to be retrained. You know.
No, I'm talking about Amotekun now. If we're saying that regular police should be retrained,
you're breaking. I cannot get you very well.
Can you hear me better now? Hello. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I didn't get your last question.
So I was asking that if we're saying that police people need retraining because they do silly things like go and drink and then start shooting up in the air, and they do serious things like killing people because they are intoxicated, how can we trust that these people who will volunteer for Amotekun and will possibly be armed will be trained enough to not misfire their arms?
Yeah, they will be trained, and they will be trained and retrained. Because I remember when I was in the service, every month you have to go to the gym. Every month you have to go to the range and, practice shooting. Because you have to learn how to use that weapon. You just can't put it in your pocket or make somebody to either disarm you, take it away, or accidentally shoot somebody. So you have to be trained. They're human beings, So you cannot say that, because they've been trained and they mistakenly shoot somebody, they shouldn't carry the gun. No. But for those who are carrying arms, there are rules and regulations and guiding principles of you're carrying, So it's a normal thing. Although, yes, people have been even known to put their government-issued arms to armed robbers. Armed robbers have been caught, and the guns they were using was borrowed to them by policemen. So these are ills of society.
Yes, but that's for police.
General situation.
That's for police, Mr. Macri. How about the people who will be in Amotekun? Nigerians need to know that they can trust? And I know that you're not the right person to ask that question because you're a security expert and you're not in government anymore. But how can Nigerians trust that the people who will make up Amotekun have been sufficiently trained given the precedents that the police have set?
One thing I believe in, I'm from a regimented background, and I know that training is the key to discipline. It is the key to being very objective in doing what you're supposed to do. It is the key to whatever you're going to do. So, if you just don't train people or you update them, train them for 2 weeks or 6 months or something like that, and they turn out and get excited with wearing a uniform, and we are very, very crazy about uniforms in this country. I don't know how many uniforms I've seen on the streets of Nigeria, and when people are wearing it, they feel that they're above the law and they can do all kinds of things. That's why training is necessary. You train them, you even train them about law. You train them about human rights. You train them about arrest, and how they have to do it, how it's going to be carried out. It's not just wearing people uniform and sending them out there.
Okay. All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back and continue this conversation. We have security expert and former assistant director in the State Security Service on the show with us, Dennis Samakri. And you can join in by calling 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. We're talking regional security on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Hard facts. We'll be right back. Hard facts. Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
Jakumaku, Lagos. I am Aghogho.
Join the powerful duo of Sandra Ezekwesili and Oboh as they take you through drive time, politics, education, health, and plenty more. If it's worth talking about, then listen to Hard Facts. Join us weekdays
3 p.m. to 7 p.m.
on Hard Facts.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
I'm the first half, Sandra Ezekwesili of the Hard Facts Duo, and I'm here with Danny Tamakri, who is a former assistant director in the State Security Service. He's also a security expert, and we're discussing what appears to be the rise of regional security outfits all over the country in the face of insecurity. We've seen Amotekun here in the southwest, which we're hearing will have its enabling laws passed in all 6 states this week. Then we've also heard from the governors of the southeast who are planning their own security outfit. Northern groups have also unveiled a regional security outfit. It's called Operation Shege Kafasa in Kaduna. It's supposed to tackle kidnapping and banditry in the zone. Mr. Makri, are there any rumblings of the South forming their own security outfit? Hello, Mr. Makri. Hello? Mr. Makri?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I was asking if there were any rumblings in the South about the formation of a security outfit there as well.
You're actually breaking. I cannot hear you very well.
Is this much better?
Yes, please.
I was asking if the South was talking about a security outfit as well for that region.
You mean the South?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. In fact, by yesterday, I think the count was 4. We have Amotekun. Then we also have the Shege Kapasa from the north. And we have Oboh in the east.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one that came out from the Middle Belt. And, of course, in the South, I don't know what they're planning. But I know that River State has a neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
And other states, Delta, they might all come up with one or so.
Okay.
I think everybody's learned from the case of the Southwest,
Oh.
whereby you don't bring out the regional thing. Although they are all fighting for regional stuff, that also means something in the country, you know. It looks like everybody wants to go back to the region. We used to operate the regional government before. And now maybe everybody wants to go back to regional stuff. Well, if that is what the country wants, then let them
have their will.
Amend the constitution and go that way. Yeah.
Now, even before Amotekun, there have been many state government agencies in many states handling some security. Bayelsa State used to have the Bayelsa Volunteers. They now have Safe City Initiative in Yenagua. You mentioned the Neighborhood Watch in Rivers. There's a Neighborhood Watch here in Lagos. Anambra has an outfit as well. How do all these state agencies fit into the idea that security is for the federal government only?
Now, we have what that actually means is that the federal government has already, I think people are telling the federal government that, look, you are not able to handle this stuff, you know. Allow other people to handle it.
Okay.
Now, that way you can even have the chief security officers of the states who are the governor, you know, to determine how to secure their own state, you know. Yeah, the federal government has been a big burden on the federal government. And I believe that, you know, with very good advice or security advice, they should allow or encourage the states to come up with these outfits. And then, of course, all they have to do is to make sure that they regularize all of them and make sure that they are operating according to law. They are operating according to some ground rules. Not everybody just popping up and doing whatever they like. I think that's the role of the federal government doing this. But with the state, yes, all of them are bringing out something to take care of themselves. And it shows that the federal government is not coming to help them. Like I've said in some other places, in Nigeria, if you don't have electricity in your area, you quickly go and run by a generator. If you don't have water, you will quickly, because you need them, you know, and if you're having security, adequate security to cover us, well, go ahead and all kinds of stuff. Private security, I mentioned earlier, one of the symptoms of that that too. When we feel that if we're not going to be safe in our houses, we build walls around our houses, we put security guards, and that shows that, we are unsafe. We feel unsafe. Go to certain countries, you find beautiful houses, no fences down them. Okay? And that is how we should be living. So I think it's a very good time where we can actually review the whole security structure and security sector.
Now, let's talk about recruitment. We had the Police Service Commission suing the federal government over recruitment of community police constables. But now we have the Southwest states wanting to embark on Amotekun and doing recruitment themselves while still operating under a federal community policing umbrella. Do you foresee any legal problems with Amotekun recruitment without recourse to the PSC?
I think they should recourse to, no, not that PSC will recruit for them.
Okay.
They have to recruit. And I think the state, either they will have to have some consultants to do it for them,
okay,
or they will go ahead and use their own sources in recruiting who they feel should fill up these security units.
Okay.
But the constables that are there are going to be like liaison officers. They are the ones who deal with the community, with these Amotekun people, and talk to them all the time. And of course, the Amotekun will be transmitting information to those constables regularly. I think that signage needs to appear. They shouldn't or should not operate independently.
Okay. Let's come back to you who's listening and trying to call into the show as well. 012770993, 012771993, 012772993, and 012773993. Tweet at us at Nigeria Info FM. We're streaming this conversation on Facebook, so please share your thoughts on Facebook. Also, Nigeria Info 99.3. What do you think about these regional security outfits? What do you think about the idea that they have to align with the federal government's community policing program? What do you believe are the root causes of high insecurity? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Sandra.
Welcome to the show. What's your name?
Olumiwa is my name.
Welcome, Olumuyiwa. Go ahead.
First and foremost, one of your arguments is that police went for so many training and they have gone and they are still misusing it, talk less of the Amotekun. I want to clear something.
Okay.
That if we look at the settings of Nigeria police, most of them just get that job for employment's sake. And they are not the consciousness or psychologically that we are protecting Nigeria is not in them, but to protect the rich, the politician. Okay, look at when photophobia happened in South Africa. In Nigeria, people are shouting, they are killing us in South Africa, you are still killing us also in Nigeria. And this Amotekun and Co., they have psychologically that we want to protect regional, they didn't have psychology that they want to make money. So in that area, I support it. But when federal government want to put them under the control of federal government, that's what I don't know. Because I remember in the 80s, when you see Nigerian soldier, when they mount highway, they are for security. But when they join police, they begin to collect bribes. So I don't want them to join them with Nigerian police.
Okay, yeah, very interesting. But Mr. Makri, I want to go back to that idea of community policing because of something that Olumuyiwa said. Does it make sense for community policing to be in federal hands? I mean, shouldn't community policing be in the hands of the lowest tier of government, the one closest to the community, in this case, local government?
What many people don't understand what this community policing means. Okay, community policing does not mean that you are going down, pursue criminals, arrest them, prosecute them, and then jail them. No. Community policing, number one, is to create synergy between the community, the people, the ordinary people, police. Whereby they can talk to each other, The police is your friend. If you have a problem, you can call him, and stuff like that. Now, you have a situation, a security situation, or you find out a strange person in your environment. You call the police, and the police will go ahead and check out that person. If the person is a criminal, they will arrest the person. And of course, go ahead and prosecute the person. That prosecutorial power does not lie with the ordinary citizen because he cannot prosecute anybody. So it is the police that he has reported to that will arrest and prosecute that criminal, and then of course kill the person. Okay? So this is the synergy that needs to happen. It is not that the community police will be existing and they are independent, their own. No. Even when we are talking of state police, and then of course local government sheriffs. Like I said, the university I attend have the university police. And then for instance, let's say there is a federal law that is preached, and it's found in the university campus. The university police will arrest that person, call the federal police, and the federal police come, and they will hand over that person to the federal police. The federal police can go ahead and do their job. And that's how it is. So we have the federal police in Nigeria, and then we have the state police. State police will be taking care of state laws, which we call state edicts. Okay? Then local government police or sheriffs, those will take care of local government edicts or finances, because those are like parking rules, traffic control, issues, and all kinds of garbages. Those are the kinds of laws that a local government police will be interested in and be doing. And then the state police will also be doing their own. Where you talk of theft, burglary, and all those kind of stuff, And then, of course, federal police will have federal crimes like drug trafficking, murder cases, etc., etc. So if everybody knows what they are supposed to do, they'll be restricted to those areas.
Okay.
And they should also know that you have to hand it over to the appropriate person when the time comes.
All right. On Twitter, Desmond Jonah says Amotekun was condemned by the AGF, but the North unveiled Operation Shege Kafasa and no comments. I'm wondering how the South will galvanize themselves for this. Well, Desmond, I think that the resolution that was reached by the Vice President and the Southwest governors handled any comments that the AGF would have had. But this is just me speculating. Of course, this is not concrete evidence on my part. But let me come back to you who's listening in your car or in the office or at home. 012770993, 012772993, 012771993, 012773993. There's also 012770993. I'm not sure if I've said that before. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Sandra.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Mokri. I have a question for him.
Go ahead.
Good evening.
Now, if we are saying that this community security sort of, let me put it that way, will act as informants to the police. They don't arrest, but they report to the police. So what happens in a situation whereby what happened in Benue State, that even the governor said he called the police, he called the president, and they did not respond. And we have been hearing instances where people will call the security outfit of the federal government and they don't respond. So in a situation whereby the Amotekun members or whatever regional outfit comes from other regions, they call the federal police and there is no quick response. What should they do? Can't they arrest at that situation before any damage is done, or they allow the criminals to go because the federal police have not responded? I want to hear your reply on that. Thank you.
Yeah, very, very serious question.
Yeah,
very, very important one. Yeah, that is the thing that we were talking about. If in your house at night and there is armed robbery case, and then you call the police, and they tell you there is no fuel in their vehicle, stuff like that. All these are all problems that we have with our policing system, But we are looking at bigger picture, whereby if somebody sees a crime about to happen or is in progress, you will call the major police people and tell them, look. And that's why the state and the police itself have to react themselves and be ready for this. Because it is not a matter of, we don't want Amoteku or we don't want Punigwe and then we can handle it ourselves. You cannot handle it yourself. It happens, they should work in synergy to make sure that they arrest that situation. But what the caller said is very, very true. We don't want situations where, they call somebody and then you go and inform them, they say, there's no fuel, or it takes them a less time with the 1 hour. They come that time, the people are away, or they don't they go ahead and say, is this man that called to tell us about you and this thing? All those kinds of shoddy policing, I think should be shared away. And the police authorities have a big job to do before all things come out.
Okay. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Welcome. What's your name, sir?
My name is Godwin.
Godwin, turn your radio off. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm calling from Lapwe.
All right, go ahead.
Yes. Thank our expert in the studio for a good job doing that.
Okay.
If the issue there is the federal government, they have refused to do the needful. The policing of the thing all this while, for how many years have they recruited? And the money is being budgeted every year. And it's going through somewhere into some people's pockets. To spend this money and bring security into every life that matters. But because they are only after themselves and immediate family. And as such, they refuse to use money, recruit, train, and according to the UNESCO standard, they turn the blind eye to that. And now it is done. Honestly, I support this regional policing 100%. Because a situation where we have been led to serve ourselves, you need to get water for yourself, you need to create hospital for yourself, you need to get generator for yourself, and the NEPA and whatever as is supposed to be the primary duty of government, they are not doing the way it's supposed to. So everybody is looking for a solution where he or she will be safe. So when they refuse to do the right thing as when supposed to be, there should not be a blockage for the peace and progress regional-wise this time.
Okay.
So it is something that is good. And if they are sincere, with the sincerity, they will put their heads together with both local government and the state to ensure this thing is done. The governors, the security vote they are collecting, where is the money going to? What do they use it for? This is the time they have to cover this money to ensure there is peace and tranquility within the domain so that the Nigeria will be good for all of us to live. And this individualization and selfishness and wickedness being perpetrated by our rulers, that should not continue. And let's try this and see by the grace. I think it will be better than the way they have left it only setting for themselves alone. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling and sharing that. Hello.
Hello.
Turn your radio off. Good evening. What's your name?
Good evening. My name is Lucky.
Lucky. Welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I want to contribute to this matter.
Yes, go ahead.
And to me, I believe that anything that involves Nigeria police will not work. If you remember, even in the case of Bakassi, they were able to succeed more because the police wasn't involved. Even in Lagos, Yoruba outfit, what is it called? The OPC. Because Nigeria police is very corrupt. It's in fact, Nigeria police is formed on a corrupt foundation. Anything that involves Nigeria police will not work. So these people should be trained to work on their own without using the police to work, allowing the police to work with them. That is the only way I see this thing can work.
All right. Thanks for calling to share that. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, welcome. Good evening.
Sandra, good evening. How are you doing?
Very well. How are you?
My name is Enzo. I'm calling from BI.
Go ahead, Enzo.
I just feel the governors are trying to create another monster. Let them go to Anambra State. Anambra State does not have anything called regional police or regional security. Anambra State is the safest state in the whole of Nigeria. Let them go and ask the governor and say what it's doing. These are Moteco, whatever it's called. I just believe they're just going to create another monster, just like Boko Haram. This is the same way Boko Haram started. Someone called and said in Kogi, some persons were committing crime. They had to seek orders from Abuja before they will arrest that person. I disagree with that person. The governors receive security vote. What are they doing with their security vote? Can they use their security votes to invest in the police force within their domain? Do they need rocket science? If they think they don't have control over the Nigerian police force in their domain, then why do they receive billions in the name of security votes? You are not in charge of the Nigerian police force in your state. Why collect the security votes? If you think you must take orders from Abuja before you tell the commissioner of police to do what you want him to do, then stop receiving security votes. The governor of Anambra State does not wait for Buhari or the Inspector General of Police to ask the CP to do what he wants to do. If you commit a crime in Anambra State, the governor of Anambra State will give the commissioner of police a marching orders to go after the criminals. He has never. I challenge anybody to tell me where they had Governor Obiano blaming Buhari for insecurity in Anambra State. There was this pigeon of Nibo that was killed. The governor of Anambra State gave the CP marching orders. At the end, those culprits were arrested by the Nigerian police force in Anambra State. Anambra State government did not blame Buhari, did not wait for IGP to give him orders. The governor of Anambra State received security votes in billions, and is using that security vote to protect lives and property in Anambra State. Governors should stop waiting for Buhari to tell them what to do. If you think you are not in charge of the Nigerian police force in your state, for crying out loud, Mr. Governor, stop collecting security votes. If you think you're going to wait for the IG to give you orders, you're going to wait for Buhari to give you orders, stop collecting security votes.
All right, Enzo, thanks for calling me. But Enzo, brings me to a final point, Mr. Makri, that I want you to address. One of the major problems the federal police has is a lack of funding. Now, most states also have funding problems. Do you believe that these state governments will be able to fund the regional outfits better than the federal government funds the Nigeria Police Force?
Well, you have to look at it this way. The fundamental responsibility of any government is the safety and security of lives and property of the citizens. So if that is fundamental, it means that is the first thing we need to do. There is too much money in this country. Nobody should think that, there's no money, we cannot fund it. If it is the case, all these legislators and all the millions they are collecting every month, I think should be diverted in security. They can take care of security, and all the monies that are being stolen every day, we tighten up all these things and make sure that we have enough money. Okay, they are even with all those monies are around. So what are we going to do about it? So there is, when you come to even think, somebody is talking about security votes. Where are the security votes going to? 300 and something million every month. So I hope they can. If they are serious, they can. Okay. Funding should not be a problem.
All right.
Because when they want to fund the mopos that are following them all over the place, they fund them very, very well.
The money
and
appears.
That's why the mopos people are happy to be with them.
All right. Dennis Amakri is a security expert. He's also former assistant director for the State Security Service. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and we've just spent the past hour talking about regional security and whether that's the future for Nigeria. On Community Report, Chukwudi gave us an update on the roads that government announced that it will be working on. And on the big three, we looked at multiple ongoing allegations of wastefulness in government and the refusal to give account. We looked at reactions that continue to pour in about the restrictions on Okada and Keke and hailing bikes. We also looked at the crackdown on ride-hailing app drivers. We also brought you the accusation of police torturing people in custody. That conversation will continue tomorrow morning on the Crossfire at 8 o'clock. So make sure that you are tuned in when Sheriff and Wemimo will be talking to Mayeni Jones of the BBC. They did a recent report about torture. And they'll also be talking to Chima's lawyer. Chima's a young man who was tortured to death allegedly by the police in Port Harcourt. So look forward to that conversation. Set your alarm right now, 8 a.m. That's when that's happening tomorrow. I am back on your radio at 3:15. Why don't you join me? Set an alarm as well. 3:15 p.m. That's when Hard Facts starts. Until tomorrow, I'm Sandra Ezekwesili on all of my social media. Lagos, those were your Hard Facts. Good night.
We keep you informed. We keep you company. And we give you access to pour out your mind, even throughout the night.